Well, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning. It's about 18 degrees and I'm out on my first morning walk at Rondeau Provincial Park. The sun is just starting to show, the light of it is starting to show over the eastern horizon, which is where I'm heading now. It's been a nice mild night, but quite windy. And it just smells beautiful here. The birds were very active last night when we got in, but I didn't really have a chance to do much in the way of birding. So unfortunately, this high wind is not great for birding, but we'll see what we can get. Well, as you can tell behind me, a beautiful morning. Sun's still not quite over the horizon, but just beautiful here. Nice and mild and breezy, but otherwise beautiful. Turkey vultures are up flying and lots of gulls over the lake, Canada geese. So just walking down Warbler's Way Trail, trying to find a place that's more sheltered, and it's pretty good in here. So hopefully I'll have some luck spotting some warblers in here, or other birds. I certainly hear some birds chipping and calling and whatnot. Beautiful big oak trees in here. There's a few bird sounds coming down Warbler Way, but not a lot of visual activity for the birds. I suspect that'll change shortly. It's still early. Sun's still coming up over the horizon. Sure is a beautiful place, this park, though. The trees along here are quite large. Big oaks and walnuts and poplars, sycamores, tulip trees. So for our hike today, we walked from the campsite up Harrison Trail through the central part of the peninsula and came out close to the beach and went out and looked at the beach here at Beach Access 10, then walked Tulip Tree Trail in from the beach. Came back out and continued on Harrison Trail until it hit South Point East Trail. Followed that until it ended, basically, where it's basically divided from South Point West Trail by a break in the trail through wave action and erosion from the lake. We actually followed as best as we could what we thought was the trail, and it was quite a battle. We don't recommend it to anyone coming to the park. We were just out for exploring a bit, and we wanted to see if we could find this other section of the South Point West Trail. And after about 15 minutes of battling over and under trees and fallen limbs and along the edge of the lake and through Phragmites stands, we actually managed to get to the South Point West Trail. And then we followed South Point West Trail back northwards and then on to the road itself and then back to the campground. All in all, about 18 kilometers, a really nice hike on a beautiful day. So about 10:30ish or so now, and we're heading down the Harrison Trail and out on the South Point Trail. So we'll do both of those now for a nice walk of about 12 kilometers or so. The birds are certainly active. With the wind, it gets a bit tricky seeing them, but otherwise a gorgeous day. And lovely to be back in the Carolinian zone where my ancestors evolved. Big walnut tree covered with Virginia creeper vines all the way up to the top. Found this nice little brownish colored garter snake. First I thought it was a DK snake, but it's just a garter snake with some interesting colors. Lots of little orange scales along the side. We always think of these trips in the fall coming down to this location as chasing summer, which is really what it is, because right now we're back into really warm summery temperatures and the trees look in much better shape and everything is just longer lasting down here. But we weren't intending to come back into mosquito land, and it's not that bad, but in places they are around and biting. So that's kind of interesting for the end of September. Here's another of the Carolinian shrubs or trees, sassafras, with these unique shaped, almost glove shaped leaves, I guess you'd say. Here's a larger specimen here, up to 20 feet tall. So Rondeau Provincial Park is the second oldest provincial park in Ontario. It was established in 1894, 1 year after Algonquin Provincial Park was established in 1893. And it's really got a long history of changes over those years. It protects a rare old growth Carolinian forest type that used to be widespread across much of southern Ontario, that is now largely restricted to a few provincial and national parks and some local conservation areas. This is about 3,200 and some hectares, and very important piece of Ontario's natural history. Here's an example of poison ivy climbing up a tree. So you can see poison ivy here, the three leaves. There's also a few other things climbing up the tree here. There's this smilax or greenbrier vine growing up, and then there's also this Virginia creeper in here. So you got three vine species climbing up this one tree. Just heading out to Beach Access 10 on our way up the Harrison Trail. We're just diverting out to the beach here for a moment to take a look at the beautiful beach habitat here. Oh, what a day. Here's the nice beach grasses growing in here. Little blue stem, big blue stem, Indian grass looks like, switchgrass. Beautiful. Just walking the tulip tree trail right now, just to start at the boardwalk on the beach. So here's an example of a nice large tulip tree here at Rondo. As you can see, they get quite big, and they can go up to 100 feet or more in height. Beautiful straight trunks. When they're younger trees, the bark is quite smooth, and as you can see, it gets rough as they get old. But typically a very straight trunk on a tree, and massive with the age. It's about 12:30 and we're still walking the Harrison Trail out to the South Point area where we meet the South Point Trail. It's still a beautiful day and still windy. We just walked the Tulip Tree Trail. That was very nice as well. So 1 o'clock and we're now on the South Point East Trail heading over to South Point West Trail. We weren't aware when we started out on this journey that there may be a break along here, disconnecting the two trails from each other. That's why they have two different names. We didn't know that when we started. So we may not actually be able to get out to South Point West Trail from this trail, depending on the flooding condition of the lake. If that's the case, we'll have to walk back this way and then go back to the visitor center and across, and then onto the South Point West Trail that way. Looks like the end of the trail.
We're going on though.
Huh?
We're going on though.
We're not going on. That's not the trail. So we're trying to push our way through this tangle to get to South Point West Trail. Not sure we're going to make it or not. Still pushing forward through this tangled mess of fallen trees and stuff. Maybe we've found it again, I'm not sure just yet. I think we've come to the end. Here we go again. We found another piece of the trail that we're following. Is this it? This might be it. Huh? You don't think this is it?
No, I think
Well, amazing things do happen. We made it through that point trail where it was broken from the South Point to the West Point trail. It's quite a battle, and I don't recommend anyone do that. We're not doing that to recommend it at all. We just did it because we wanted to explore ourselves a bit, see if we could find this other section of the trail. It's quite a battle up and over trees and roots and things and along the edges of the lake, and certainly not a recommendation for anyone to do it. But we made it through after about 15 minutes of struggle. And now we're walking down the South Point West Trail. So that's good. We don't have to go back the same way. I've been noticing that the American beech in the park look good. They seem free of the beech bark disease, which is really good to know. I wonder if it's because they're fairly isolated out here on the peninsula from most of the other beech inland that have the disease. Just a guess. Here's a beauty. This one's about a 2.5 foot diameter at breast height. Beautiful tree, beautiful healthy crown. One of the more common understory shrubs here is the spice bush, another Carolinian plant that is found in abundance here. We're just finishing up our hike this afternoon. 5.5 hours and 18 kilometers. Quite a long hike. We're worn out coming back to the campsite here. Looks like I think our camper van is gone. They stole it. Oh no, it's the next site.